Hey, what's up, metalomaniacs and heavy music fans? This is indeed a huge special presentation, as I promised you. There was no ranking in July for my side, so I decided to wait the end of summer. Well, it's not really the end yet. 2 weeks are still coming up for metal releases during summertime, but for the first time ever, and I mean ever, I will mention some albums that from the time I record this video are not out yet, but I'm sure they will be part of my selection anyway, so I will include them, even if those are future releases to come next week on the next Wednesday, which will be, today is the 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, April 19th. A lot of stuff coming this day, and I selected 2 albums for that week as well. So this is gonna be a huge selection because I will cover July and also August. And well, I was wondering actually if I was gonna regroup by subgenre or if I was gonna move, from one week to another, and I decided to choose that scheme. So I will present to you chronologically, week after week, the best heavy metal or metal releases that came out this summer 2022. So I highly recommend you take some notes, something to write down, or use your phone or your tablet or whatever, because I'm gonna make you write a lot of stuff. Believe me, trust me, and I know you do. And let's start without further ado with the first week of July. Oh yeah, something I forgot to mention. There will be a special category also at the end of this video, and there are a couple of surprises for you that's going to be covered in this video as well. So let's get started. On July 1st was released this great, amazing album from a Swedish band who produced some goth rock mixed with some, old school new wave from the 80s elements, if you will. And yeah, this kind of music reminds me a little bit of Rosetta Stone, things like that. So if you are really, if you appreciate, this kind of music, goth elements, I really strongly recommend you dig into that album because these Swedish guys are amazing. It's actually their 6th studio album, so In the Name of Hunger, and it was released on July 1st. And the album is composed of a total of 11 tracks for a total playing time of 44 minutes. It's perfect. Super clear sound, crystalline, great production, great voice, great vocals from the singer, and the guys behind are also amazing. The album is a no-miss, so if you like this subgenre, this is, well, I think it's actually my only selection in goth rock for this selection, but please don't miss it. Moving on to the next one, also out this week of July 1st. Some symphonic death metal here, and I'm bringing you this time to Switzerland with a band called Xeon, spell it Xaon. That was my biggest crush on that week of 1st of July in the beginning of summer, and believe me, comme on dit en français, j'ai plié cet album, je l'ai retourné dans tous les sens. I listened to it again and again and again because it's absolutely fantastic. Symphonic death metal it is. It's their third studio album in the name of the Lethian, and it was released on July the 1st independently. They are not signed yet, apparently, according to Encyclopedia Metallum, which is my Bible, and I know it's your Bible as well. Well, apart from Melomic channel, of course. The album is composed of 10 tracks for a total playing time of 51 minutes and 21 seconds. And believe me, what I love in this album is the mix, again, the mix of clear and harsh vocals. It's absolutely great. Sometimes, well, they sing in English, you know, he sings in English, but sometimes you can hear some French text, you know, because I guess they are they are from the French part of Switzerland, so that explains a lot. And yeah, the vocals are great. The guitars, man, in this album are amazing. All the instruments basically are amazing. The production is perfect, but I mean perfect. And the album starts with an instrumental track, so it's a great way, you know, to start, you know, to go, you know, discover this album. And they mix, as I said, you know, both kind of vocals, but in a perfect way, you know. And sometimes I could really say that they make me think a little bit the way the songs are constructed, you know, and the vocals are constructed. They make me think a little bit of Neo Obliviscaris, you know, so just to tell you how great the quality of this album is. Don't mess it up, you know. The longest track is 7 minutes and 30 seconds long, but otherwise it's moving from 5, 4, 6 minutes, so it's average, you know. But the album is not average at all. That was my heavy crush on that week of the 1st of July. I even wonder if this would have not been my album number 1 of July if I did a ranking specifically for July. So this is Xeon with the Lethian. It's their third studio album. Please, believe me, don't miss that album and go listen to it. Moving on now with, again, an album out that week on the 1st of July.
Whoa!
For this next selection for this week of July 1st, the band's name is Conjurer. They come from the UK, more precisely from Rugby, and they produce a mix of sludge, doom and post-metal, and it's their second studio album in the name of Paphos, and it's composed of 8 tracks for a total playing time of sharply 50 minutes, so it's quite long tracks. It's absolutely great, it's super atmospheric, it's super aggressive at times as well. Yes, I had to include them in my selection, and I think there's not a lot of albums in that category for summer. There are really 2 categories that are really well exploited for this summer edition for this year, but not that one. So if you're looking from a mix of sludge, doom and post-metal, this is the selection I recommend to you. So this is the new album from Conjurer in the name of Paphos. Released on July 1st, this is this time a melodic black metal band called Devil's Tail. They are also from Sweden, and they released that this summer their debut album in the name of Desolation. It's composed of 7 tracks for a perfect total playing time of 40 minutes. It's absolutely great. You know I love melodic black metal, and it was not super rich under that category as well during this summer. So yeah, this is one that caught my attention, and this is why I definitely wanted to suggest to you to listen if you like this subgenre. Moving on.
With a contaminated mind from beyond this tainted world. Not the dead shall rise and follow me. You fall before me. We enter the new world. I see the soulless shell. I witness this decay. I shall ascend. I will become the constructor, the new God. The reconstructed us with a ring while walking. Life with death I make my own. And one day you are down in my grasp. I'm gathering the soldiers for the darkest army. The impure masses will walk again.
First selection in metalcore for this summer 2022, and I say first because you will see later on in this video that it's not the only selection in that subgenre. Here, this time, this is a band called Horizon Ignited. They produce a mix of metalcore, but also incorporate melodic death metal elements. They come from Finland, and it's their second studio album in the name of Towards the Dying Lands. It's composed of 10 tracks for 38 minutes. It's super aggressive, super energetic, and it's absolutely a great, great album to work out, for example, you know, or even whatever. But yeah, this is a great, great addition to this music, you know, that we had in summer, you know, and yeah, I had to include it in my selection. So this is the band Horizon Ignited. Moving on to July 5th now, that's an exceptional selection because usually I don't incorporate that kind of releases in my selections because it's a compilation, let's say, of songs from one band, but I found it really so great, you know, that I couldn't get rid of it. So in this selection, so it's a band called Honey Bone Rush. And who are these guys? Honey Bone Rush. It's a band that produced some heavy metal coupled with hard rock elements, but in their music you will also find some thrash metal elements. You will find there and there some stoner metal elements as well, and that's what makes this music really particular because you never get bored. You know, each track is totally different, the one from another. You know, and yeah, I had to incorporate this compilation album, if you will, in my selection because if you guys didn't know this band, because I didn't personally know them before discovering this compilation album. They are from Naples in Florida, and they already have in their discography 5 studio albums. The last one, called Reptilia, was out last year in 2021, so it escaped my radar that year because I didn't know that band, as I said. So that's why, you know, to a little bit to excuse myself, I will include this in my selection for this video. It's absolutely fantastic, and yeah, let's check it out.
Time has gone.
Are you ready for some thrash metal? Yeah, this was thrash metal, and this is a band from Germany called Protector. It's a huge band because they were formed back in 1986, and this album out this July 1st, 2022 marks their 8th studio album, if I remember well, in the name of Excessive Outburst of Depravity, and it was released under the label High Roller Records, and the album is 47 minutes long for 11 tracks. Great thrash metal. I love the artwork as well. So this is not my unique thrash metal selection, because I have to say that this summer I started a little bit, to appreciate thrash metal. That was really not my favorite kind of music. Well, it's still not my favorite kind of music, but with a special release that I will demonstrate to you later on in this video, I started really to find some interest in thrash metal. So this Protector album is in my selection, but it's not gonna be my unique selection of thrash metal. So now it's time to present to you an EP. And why did I choose this specific EP? Because it's one great band that I love. It's one of the first pure traditional death metal that I listened to when I discovered, metal, death metal more precisely. And I really fell in love with their former album that was released a long time ago. I think it was in 2017 or even maybe earlier. Let me check. Yeah, they released their first and unique studio album back in 2011. So 11 years in the making for this EP. It's a band that I love, and I will tell their name just after having make you listen to this short clip. So I was talking about this band, death metal band from the USA called Disma, and this is my favorite metal artwork ever for this album that was released in 2011, their unique studio album so far. Look at this beautiful artwork. Yeah, it's just amazing, Look at this. It's more in the same vein as the artworks maybe from a Temple of Void, more in the Death Doom category, but yeah, it's the same kind of stuff here. You want to enter, those tombs, this monument, and discover what's happening there, and when you listen to the music, you have really the feeling that you are indeed having some adventures in the inside of this album, But that's the album of 2011, and I'm talking to you now about the EP, a new EP that they released, so 11 years after this amazing album, and it's absolutely fantastic. The EP is called Earth Endium, which means the end of the year of the Earth, I guess. So it's death metal from New Jersey in the USA, and it's an EP that was released. I cheated a little bit because it was released on June 9th, but still June is summertime on the 21st, so let's say I took some advance, But yeah, I just love it so much that I had to include it, especially that it was not part of my selection in June, because back on in June I didn't discover it yet, so I had to to correct this mistake and include it in this video. So it's an EP of 3 tracks for a total playing time of 22 pure madness minutes, 6 minutes and 9 minutes of pure madness. And I have to say that they incorporate more Death Doom elements, really greasy Death Doom elements, a la Temple of Void, from time to time, but it remains death metal. And if you love this genre, don't miss it, even if it's an EP. It's easy listening, 22 minutes, so if you don't know that band, discover this EP, and maybe, really guys, if you don't know this album, go back to their discography. It's their unique album that was released in 2011. But I'm really talking too much in this video. It will be 2 hours long if I go on like that. So yeah, Let's move forward. We are now on July 15th, starting here with a band called Dark Bard. They produce some atmospheric black metal and also dark ambient music. They are coming from Greece and they released their first studio album in the name of And Then There Is Silence. It's an album composed of only 5 tracks. But it's absolutely fantastic if you love this mix of ambient sound with black metal, atmospheric black metal. This is a great selection, and there will be even a better selection in August in this type of music, a lot even better. But this one is already great. Don't get me wrong. So that's why it has its place in this selection. So this is Dark Bard. Moving on.
There is a house in New Orleans they call the rising sun, and it's been the root of many a poor girl. And God, I know I'm one.
We are on July 22nd. And this is the big crush, my personal big crush of that specific week. And believe me, I didn't expect it. Because it's a band that I love. And especially with their album that they released in 2020. With this huge album artwork, created by my good friend Janice Nakos that I interviewed earlier last year on the channel. And I love this band. And I discovered it through the album from 2020. But when I started, to discover the first singles, they put on YouTube, promoting their new album, I say, wow, they changed totally of a type of music. And I didn't expect, to have such a big crush, a huge crush on that album. But believe me, it's amazing. And I'm talking, of course, you get it, about Oceans of Slumber. They come from Houston, Texas, and they produce some progressive metal. And they are back this year with a 5th studio album in the name of Starlight and Ash. It's 50 minutes long with a total of 11 tracks. Released under Century Media Records on July the 22nd. And this album, what can I say? They changed totally their style, And it's maybe more personal sound, more personal lyrics, and more personal music compositions there. And Camille, the lead singer, the female lead singer of the band, really cries her heart out all along this album. It's super emotive, all along, from start to finish. But you have some metal stuff there, really discreet, from time to time, and that's why I make it a metal album anyway. But even if we are more, in the direction of southern rock music here. And it's absolutely fantastic. The intro track, The Waters Rising, it's great. The second track, Arts of Stone, is great. The Lighthouse, Red Forest Roads, my personal favorite, the 4th track of the album. Red Forest Roads, it's absolutely great. It's really southern rock, type of music, but it's absolutely fantastic. And you also have, on that album, a cover of the Animals, House of the Rising Sun, that is absolutely amazing. And this is absolutely a great album. It's a no miss. Do you want some weird stuff but great quality stuff? This one, the next selection, was also released on July the 22nd. Imperial Triumphant are a band from New York, from the USA, of course. They produce, listen carefully, a mix of avant-garde, technical, black and death metal, wow, and neoclassical stuff incorporated in their music also. This is the album Spirit of Ecstasy, which marks the 5th studio album in their discography. It was out on July the 22nd under Century Media Records. It's composed of 8 tracks for nearly 55 minutes. It's long tracks, you know, and it's super progressive as well. They incorporate saxophone in their stuff, and it's really avant-garde, you know. It's not for everybody, you know. Some of you will absolutely hate this type of music, but it's so original, you know. It's so great. The guys are really super talented, you know. The musicianship there in their band is absolutely amazing, and I couldn't, you know, get rid of this selection for summer 2022. So please discover and support the band. They are called Imperial Triumphant. Switching back to metalcore now, this is my second selection of metalcore for this video. This is a band, an American band from Minneapolis in Minnesota called Villains of the Story. They are releasing their new album here called Divided. It's an album composed of 8 tracks. It's great energy metalcore, you know. It's easy listening, you know, and I what caught my attention, of course, is the artwork of this album. Look at this, you know, and yeah, so if you like metalcore, this is my second selection. I will not take so much time, you know, to enter into the much details here, because I can see that we already passed the 30 minutes in this video, and I'm still in July, so let's move on. Wake is a band from Calgary, Alberta in Canada. They produce a mix of black and death metal, but they started their career making more grindcore and crust music. But here they are back with a 6th studio album in the name of Fourth from Descent that was released on July 22nd, and it's an album composed of 8 tracks for 46 minutes length. And it's absolutely great, a great artwork as well. I didn't know that band, honestly. I just discovered them through this album. It's a great album if you love the mix of black and death. And apparently they are very popular as well in their domain. So this is the new album from Wake. Where is our black metal? Yeah, this is pure black metal, the first entry, and we are still on 22nd of July. This is Panzerfaust. It's a black metal band from Canada, and they released this year their 6th studio album in the name of The Sons of Perdition Chapter 3, because it was a trilogy. The first part was out in 2019, the second part in 2020, and the final party, Chapter 3, The Astral Drain, released this summer, more precisely on July the 22nd, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's black metal, as we love it. I won't, get much into detail here because I still have a lot of stuff to present to you. So this is 47 minutes for 9 tracks. It's absolutely great. You have a great long tracks here, nearly 11 tracks, 11 minutes, for the starting track of the album, and you have an interlude right in the middle, and then it starts. You have tracks from 5, 6, 7 minutes. It's great black metal, especially the track that I made you listen here. It's my favorite of the album. So this was Panzerfaust. A new entry in thrash metal. We are still on July 22nd. This is a band from the USA, more precisely from Oakland in California. It's the band called Atriot. They produce some thrash metal, and they are back here with their 4th studio album in the name of The Veil of Shadows. Released under Massacre Records on July 22nd. It's 11 tracks for 42 minutes. Great thrash metal if you like thrash metal.
Souls
If you are looking from some power metal, this one's for you, but it's power metal coupled with some thrash metal elements as well. We remain in California, this time in Glendora, California, more precisely, with a band called Resistance. They released their fourth studio album in the name of Skulls of My Enemy. The artwork is absolutely fantastic. I love it, and the music on it is great. It's 9 tracks, 40 minutes, easy listening. It released under Pure Steel Records on July 22nd. I told you in the beginning of this video that I'm gonna present to you also a special category because that doesn't happen a lot on this channel for this specific subgenre, and I will be talking now about 2 albums that released also on July 22nd. The first one will be more in the psychedelic rock category, and the next that follows is my huge Summer 2022 crush. Yeah, just that, it's my album of the summer. So these 2 are coming up next, but let's do a little break here, and a commercial break, if you will.
You probably thought this deer was alive, and this coyote was alive, and this pheasant was alive. Nope.
So, my next selection, as I was saying before this commercial break, is something for you guys if you like the former music of the crazy Australian band Tame Impala, because when I discovered this next album, it reminded me straight away, from the early materials, the early albums of Tame Impala, which I loved back in those days, and yeah, this is a great album, and let's check it out. So the band's name is Van Dali. They come from Denver in Colorado in the USA, and they produce some psychedelic rock. It's great music if you want, still enjoy the summer, and go with your car in the field and lay down on the grass, and look at the sky and just listen to great sound. And just, make yourself, make your brain come out of your head and just travel, This is psychedelic rock at its best. It's Van Dali with their debut album, Fever Dream. And this clip here was the title track, Fever Dream. So the next one that follows is my Summer 2022 crush, and you will understand why. stoner rock for my next selection and my huge crush for this summer. Why? Because I think it's, well, first of all, it's not a genre that I illustrate a lot in my videos. If you know my channel, if you know the content of my videos, it's not really a genre that is a lot, developed in my videos. But this time, I discovered this album on June the 22nd, the day it released. And it released on Heavy Psych Records. It's a really, really famous label record, for all this type of music, really, really psychedelic, really stoner, doom, etc. This kind of sound, And it's really the biggest label, for those bands. And this band is called Nebula. They produce some stoner rock metal, and they come from California in the USA as well. And it's not a new band. They formed back in 1997. And here they are back with, they didn't produce a lot of albums because they've been here for more than 20 years. And it's only, I say only, it's still their 7th LP, if I remember right, 4, 5, no, it's their 6th studio album, but they released a lot of EPs, they released a couple of live albums as well, including one live that released back last year in 2021, that they recorded in the Mojave Desert in California, it's really that type of music, So the album is called Transmission from Mothership Earth, and it's 8 tracks for 38 minutes. It's easy listening, It's a type of album, that you listen in summer. And that's why, it's my favorite album, because that album really, really marks for me the music of this summer, It's a music, the type of music you listen to when it's really hot outside, when you stay really, either you stay in your home, à la fraîche, just not to be, falling under the heavy heat of the sun, Either you go fishing, either you go partying and drinking beers, in the night at a friend's, It's really that type of music that you enjoy in summer. I couldn't see myself listening to that kind of music in winter. There are some genres that you listen more in winter and some others that you listen more in summer, And this specific album is really the type of music that you listen to in summer. And this is why, in the end, I decided to make this video earlier than September, because I say if I present this album in September and the weather is already crap, maybe people won't appreciate, this album as its value, because believe me, this album has a great value. It's really stoner rock, it's really if you like, Queens of the Stone Age, these types of music, in the early days, you will love this album. And I also got it on vinyl. I'm super, super, super happy to have it in my collection, because that's a great addition for me to my collection. I really wanted it as soon as I listened to the first track. And when I finished the album, from after my first listen, I said, Jesus, this one, I need to have it, And this cover is like old school vinyl, I really love it, It's great. It's absolutely a great vinyl, And if you like stoner, if you want some music to listen to at a barbecue with friends, drinking beer and get it wasted, this is really the album that you like, and that's why this is my favorite album of summer, because for me, it's the perfect sound to listen to during summer. So, after this little aparté, let's move on with the selection. My next selection is an album of Dark Wave, and it's the only selection of Dark Wave, and it's a little bit particular, and I decided to create a new category of albums in my videos. This is the first one that fell under that category, and I call it the Makeout album category.
Feels so good.
I'm sorry, I'm really sorry about that, but when I listen to the music that follows, that makes me really gives an example, to on which music, I could use, when I'm making love, you know what I mean? So this is the hot moment of this video, so move your kids away. This is rated R as restricted. So yeah, music, I don't know. When I listen to this music, I picture myself doing some really, really bad stuff, in front of the chimney in winter or during a heavy rain when there are storms, you're here with your beloved and you try to make out and you start to make out, It's really that music, it's just me or no, seriously, come on, yeah. Yeah, no? And more specifically because the album's title is called In and Out. Is there a reference to something also, you know what I mean? Or is this a pure coincidence? I don't know. Anyway, I digress. The band's name is White Ritual and it's their debut album and it's a French band. They come from Alsace in France and they produce some dark wave. And really, really listen to this album because they are really, really tracks that I don't know, maybe it's me, I don't know, but come on, this music with an album's title like that, In and Out.
Mais moi je veux faire l'amour! Je veux faire l'amour!
Seriously, I think they really, really did it by purpose, because it's really music for that, to enjoy some great moments with your beloved, I guess. So I digress. Let's move on to the next part of this selection. Let's move on and switch now to August, finally! Hallelujah! We are now in August. Is death black metal from Austria with Belphegor. The band formed back in 1993, so they are not new on the scene, and they are back this summer with let me count because there are so much, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is the 12th studio album in the name of the Devils. 36 minutes, 8 tracks, and of course I had also to included in my personal collection. This is the vinyl I got here, and I was really surprised because well, this is my bad, but I didn't know this band before they released this album, and when listening to that clip here, I thought that all the album would be like that, but seriously, this is the most quiet track of the album, if you will, because the rest of the album is really, really violent. It's short tracks, it never exceeds the 5 minutes, but it's really violent, it's pure death black metal as we like it, but I honestly I like it. It's a great addition in this genre. So it's the new album of Belphegor, The Devils, and it released on, I cheated a little bit, I thought it was really beginning of August, but it released on the 29th of July under Nuclear Blast Records. exact same day released the new album from Russian atmospheric black metal band Grima, which I loved. They released already an album last year, Rotten Garden, that I really loved and was part of my top albums of the year in 2021. And they are already back in 2022 with their fifth studio album in the name of Frostbitten, and it released under Naturmarkt Productions Records. It's 7 tracks, 49 minutes. We are still in what they do at their best, you know, atmospheric black metal, but maybe they incorporate a little bit more of folky elements there, but it's still a great addition to the discography. I love Grima, and this is their new album. Don't miss it if you like atmospheric black metal. American speed thrash metal for this next selection with the band called Toxic, spelled Toxik. They come from Westchester, New York in the USA, and they released their fourth studio album in the name of Dis Morta on August 5th under Massacre Records. It's a great speed and thrash metal album, believe me, full of energy, of course. 10 tracks for 44 minutes. It's perfect.
Why
I just realized that I missed one album from July, so let just be indulgent and let me put it there, you know, here in this video. This is a band called Perish, and they come from Germany. They produce black death metal as well. It's their first studio album in the name of The Decline. It's 6 tracks, 50 minutes, and it's a great black death metal album. So I couldn't do less than to include it. So sorry, this was another July release, but let's switch back to August now. Move now to melodic death metal and stay in melodic death metal for the 3 next releases. Starting things up here with the band that we cannot introduce anymore. You know, there's no reason to introduce them anymore. Everybody knows them. Of course, I'm talking about Amon Amarth, who've just released their 12th studio album on August 5th under Metal Blade Records. It's a great album, you know. What a comeback from these guys. It's 9 tracks for 43 minutes long. It's super catchy. It's great, you know, and it's their first album since 2019, Berserkers, and yeah, it's absolutely great. I really enjoyed listening to that album, but it's not the only selection for melodic death metal in August. Look at what followed. Another melodic death metal band that require no introduction anymore, because I'm talking, of course, about Swedish melodic death metal band Arch Enemy, who are back this August the 12th. So it's a recent release. With their 12th studio album in the name of Deceivers, released under Century Media Records, 11 tracks, 45 minutes. Some people might say that it's cheesy, you know, but yeah, it's melodic death metal at its best, and I just love it, and I'm so glad because I'm gonna see them live in October, because they will share the scene with Behemoth. I'm gonna see Arch Enemy and Behemoth in the same night. I'm super happy and super excited about that. But don't miss that album if you like Melodeath, you know. Don't listen to those people who say this music is cheesy, you know. Yeah, maybe, you know, they elaborate really a lot. The old school fashioned melodic death metal, but it's so great. It's such an enjoyable album, you know. And talking about enjoyable album, I don't know if you've seen my previous video, because I did the album review for this Arch Enemy album, but prior to that, I did an album review of another one. Let's check it out. That's right, Soulfly are back. Max Cavalera and company are back in Soulfly with also the 12th studio album in their discography called Totem, and I did, as I said, my album review for this specific album, so you can check on the catalog of the channel. You will find it, and it's a great fun album. It's one of the best albums of all summer 2022, believe me. So as I said in my review, if you didn't see it, it's a mix of thrash, death and groove metal with also tribal influences in their music when we talk to the early days, because they formed back in 1998. So Max Cavalera is not a youngster, you know, and they come from Phoenix in Arizona. Well, they are originally from Brazil, but they live in Phoenix, Arizona in the USA. So this is Totem, the new Soulfly album. But I said earlier that there were 3 melodic death metal albums released recently. On August 12th. The next one is the first. Another huge release in matter of melodic death metal. Huge. Why? Because the music is great. But why is the music great? Because it's a new formation composed of Michael Stanner from Dark Tranquillity. The singer of Dark Tranquillity comes in this formation with many guys from In Flames. Yeah, you have the ex-drummer, the ex-guitar player, the ex-bass player from In Flames. They joined Michael Stanner from Dark Tranquillity and they formed this band called the Halo Effect. And this album is a great melodic death metal who pays tribute to the old school Gothenburg melodic death metal. And so of course they are from Sweden, and it's their debut album in the name of Days of the Lost, released under Nuclear Blast on April 12, 2022. It's 10 tracks for 40 minutes and 43 seconds of pure happiness. Believe me. And the final album out this August 12th is this one. It's a band formed by ex-drummer from Moonspell, so the guy is Portuguese, and the guy is called Mike Storm. He was officiating as a drummer in Moonspell, and he formed now his own band called Seventh Storm. So it's their debut album in the name of Maledictus. It was out this August the 12th. They are from Lisbon in Portugal. It released under Atomic Fire Records, and the album is composed of 12 tracks for a total playing time of 63 minutes. But why is it so long? Because the clip I just showed you is called So Dad, and you have the album version, and in the end of the album you have 3 extra formats of this song. You have the acoustic English version, you have the acoustic version in Portuguese, and you also have the normal album but in Portuguese version. So if you remove these 3 versions, it's 12 minutes less. So let's say the album is 1 hour long. And what is it for music? It's absolutely fantastic. It's a progressive metal with some goth elements over there, you know, so they remain in the same vein as Moonspell, and it's absolutely phenomenal. If you love Moonspell, you will love this project. So it's Seventh Storm with the name of the album, their debut album, Maledictus. So now let's move to the final selection. Finally, wow, that was a long video. There's no obligation for you, you know, if you find that my videos are really long, there's no obligation for you to watch it in one go, you know. This video is there and will stay there in my catalog unless Google decides otherwise. But this video will stay there, so you can watch 10 minutes today, 10 minutes tomorrow, you know, And YouTube, what is great with YouTube, you know, it keeps your memory where you were, reading the video. So no problem. Video is long, so whatever. You're watching in 5 times, 10 times, you know, if you don't have the time. So this, I confess, this is a long video, but I digress. Anyway, so I still have 2 selections, and the next 2 selections are releases from next Friday, the 19th of August. 2 selections, and I already incorporate them here because I know they will be absolutely fantastic. And let's start with this one. And if you follow my channel, you know my love for this band. This is heavy doom metal, so it's a mix of traditional heavy metal with doom metal elements, and they are my favorite in the genre. They are, of course, Spirit Adrift, a Texan band, you know, from Austin, and they will release next week, August the 19th. I can't wait for this, you know, their 5th studio album. And I just can't wait, you know, to have this vinyl, you know, in my hands and play it for the first time. I know it's gonna be great. And on this subject, you know, I saw them live recently, and I'm working on a special video on their biography, where I will include some personal footage I took during their concert. They were playing the cover band for Yob, so that was an amazing show. And I wanted to publish my video earlier, but when I realized that they were coming with a new album in August, I said let's do double shot. You know, I will do an album review along with a biography of the band, including some personal footage of the concert that I saw. I was really on the front row, you know. I also had a beer with the singer, and the guy is absolutely amazing. It's a great human being, and their music is absolutely phenomenal. If you don't know them yet, please check it out. You know, check Spirit Adrift and be waiting for the new release next Friday. You know what? Let me tease you a little bit and show you a clip of my personal footage that I took during a Spirit Adrift gig was a couple of months ago. Next Friday, another great release from some UK guys, and this time we remain in doom, but really in really dark and heavy and greasy doom metal, because I'm talking about the new Conan. I cannot tell how much I am waiting for this album, because it's a band that I really love. I love their sound, you know, I love what they produce, and they will be back next Friday, the 19th of August, with their 5th studio album in the name of Evidence of Immortality, and it will be released under Napalm Records. It will be 6 tracks long for 51 minutes. Yeah, for 6 tracks. 10 minutes, 5, 3, 8, 8, and the last one, Grief Sequence, will be 14 minutes and 29 seconds long. I cannot wait for this album. This is my huge expectation for next week, along with the one of Spirit Adrift, of course. And yeah, I can't wait, guys. I can't wait. So, before closing up this video, I have 2 last albums to present to you, and they also released on August the 12th. It's just that I put my notes. It's such a mess because I had such a huge selection for this video, and I skipped 2 albums, and I cannot, not put them, So the one that follows is a black metal band called Liminal Shroud. It's 4 tracks and 4 super long tracks, but it's absolutely fantastic. I'm not a big fan of the artwork, honestly. I'm really disappointed, because the album quality is absolutely fantastic. The music there is great, but the artwork is not really, I don't like it. I don't like the way it's designed. I don't know. I didn't even research who designed this artwork, but I'm not a huge fan of this artwork. But the album, believe me, is crazy. Let's check a small clip of the new album of Liminal Shroud. Wow, that's it. That's my last album now. I'm gonna close up this video with this next one, and it was released also this 12th. Yeah, the one previously, Liminal Shroud was out on the 5th of August, so that was last week, not the 12th. But this next one is indeed released on the 12th of August, and this is a split because it's a a mix of two bands. It's Graveland and the other one is Commander Agares, and they united their art to create this album, and so the name of their formation is simply Graveland and Commander Agares, and the title of the album is Awakening of the Storms. So it's a split album. It's absolutely great if you like the music, like from Burzum, for example. Let's say this time it's more maybe a Viking pagan metal, something like that. But you will recognize there and there some Burzum influences maybe there, and I just love it. And I thought it was a great music to close up this long edition of the best album of summer 2022. So I will leave it with a clip of this album, and I hope sincerely that you enjoyed this video and that you watched it until the end. I know it's a long one. It was actually the length of a movie. I know. Mellow is at the movies now. 90 minutes. That was my record for a presentation of this channel. I just hope you like it, guys. I did it for you because I wanted you, to discover all that was released this summer, because I guess that most of you were, flew on holidays, and didn't really pay attention to what was released these past 2 months. So that's why my video is there. So it's gonna take, come on, you fly. It's gonna take you 90 minutes to watch it, but believe me, you will be happy in the end because it's all great releases. So now it's your time to play. Please make this channel evolve, and make this channel exist on YouTube, because it's thanks to you guys that my channel lives on YouTube and that my videos are watched. So please don't hesitate to put in the comments down below what you think about this selection. What did you discover? What are your favorite albums of this summer? And don't forget to share, to like, and to subscribe to this channel, because I still see in my stats that 70% of the clicks on my video are made by people who are not subscribers yet. So please help my channel to progress on the YouTube life, on the YouTube world, and I will be I will highly appreciate it, guys. So thanks a lot for having watched this video until now, until the end, and I will see you guys on the other side. This was Mellow. Ciao, guys.